The UN Secretary-General in Beijing for a summit marking China's Belt and Road Initiative, an ambitious global network of infrastructure and trading projects all linked to China, something that in itself is far from uncontroversial. Antonio Guterres did make a public speech in China, but there was no mention of the Uighur community in Xinjiang, a glaring omission according to human rights groups who claim as many as 1 million Uighurs could be being held in detention. In an article for the Washington Post, the executive director of Human Rights Watch, Kenneth Roth, detects a pattern. He writes, Guterres should show that he can fulfill the full scope of his responsibilities as UN Secretary-General. His excessively quiet diplomacy is selling short his position and the promise of the United Nations. The Secretary-General has only once publicly spoken about the Uyghur issue this year, and that was to decline to answer a question.
I know that there is a dialogue between the Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights and the People's Republic of China in that regard. I am not in a position to give any details at the present moment, and probably if I would be talking about it, I would make it more difficult for it to succeed.
China has considerable clout at the UN as one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. Is that why the Secretary-General is pulling his punches?
This Secretary-General has been anything but quiet on his defense of human rights globally. I would refer you to a number of speeches he's delivered at the Human Rights Council, in the way also that he has really mainstreamed the role of human rights in all of the UN's work.
Does he make a different calculation on speaking out on human rights issues that involve human rights abuses by permanent members?
No, I don't think there is that calculation. His goal is to promote human rights. He will do it differently at different times.
The UN says the Secretary-General brought up all the relevant issues when he was in Beijing. They say they'll give more details in the coming days. I can tell you no one here is expecting that to include a fulsome denunciation of China's human rights record. James Bays, Al Jazeera at the United Nations.